Good morning, good morning, good morning, and peace and blessings to you. It's a great day. It's a blessed day. It's a Monday. And if you don't know anything else on this Monday, know that you deserve to be blessed. Baby.
Baby. We on our biggie this morning.
Okay, we are on it. We are on it. I don't know if you understand or if you know what's going on, but yes, indeed. Yes,
We on our
indeed.
biggie.
Yes, indeed. So we're here this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know it's that time. It is time for our meeting in the family room. Yes, yes. On Monday, we come together. Shanita, tell them what our meeting in the family room is. Tell them about it.
Well, let me tell you something. Anybody knows that whenever there is a meeting in the family room, baby, whenever grandma calls everybody in the family room and say, "Come on, let's take it in the family room, baby." And when your mama says,
Yeah,
"Let's take it in the family room,"
come
that
on.
means that we're here to solve some problems because we it's a lot of things that happen in the family, amongst
Yeah.
friendship, families, and secrets, and so on and so forth. So we ain't here to pour tea. We're just here to help solve some problems
Well, maybe
based on
well,
our
well,
own experiences. Some
well,
of
maybe
our
we're not here to pour it, but maybe we might be here to sip it.
we'll sip it. Now, the tea be the tea. Tea be good.
Maybe we here to sip it just a little bit.
Sip it. The tea be
Just
good.
a little bit.
We'll sip a little bit, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the people get what they need.
Exactly. Exactly.
We hear enough gossip, especially in the family.
Okay. So that's gonna lead us segue right on into our topic this morning. Hold up one second, cousin. Let me
We
make
want to make
sure
sure
that we
that
are good. So we are in this piece this morning. And our topic this morning, just so that you know, and it might be a little gossip if you think about it, or it might just be a little truth. I think it's going to be truth, and then we're going to drop some nuggets. Our topic this morning is entanglement. Mm. Over the last week or so, we've heard this word entanglement. Uh,
yes, we
been
have.
thrown around, and so we kind of wanted to talk about it this morning.
Yes.
Kind of bring a little light to it, bring a little something to it. Cousin, what you think? What you
I
think?
think we should. I think that, there's a lot that needs to be said in that situation.
Hmm.
I think back in the day people would call it like they little situationship. But
Right,
an
right.
entanglement, you know, um, it could be it could be a whole lot of things that's going on with there. But me coming from the early education background, I like to look into mine.
Come on now.
What things were looking like prior to.
Come
So
on.
yeah, let's get it.
That part right there.
Let's get
All
it.
right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna go ahead on and get into that. Come on in, share, like, do all of that stuff there. Um, and make sure that you are good. So y'all
Okay,
know.
cousin, let me ask you this one question, Tanya.
uh,
Um, y'all know that is my cousin, right? I'm not just saying that. Like he's my real cousin.
we
Okay,
can.
so
What's up?
so I just tried to go onto the Facebook page and share, but I could hear us too. So how do I do that? Just
You
not
probably have to. You'll probably have to mute the broadcast that
okay.
you're trying to do,
Okay.
because what happens is when you go and you click on it, where you go, baby. Look. She'll find her way back. Good morning, Aurelia. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you all. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. Share, like, follow, do all of that good stuff. And we're going to get into it this morning. Um, there's so much that we want to actually talk about this morning and get to. And we're going to get it. Hold on. I'm going to make sure my cousin is back. Looks like we had a little flip flop or something happen. over on that end over there. So we want to make sure that we are good with her. Is she coming back? Is she coming back? Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get this together. We're going to make sure this is right. Like, yes, indeed. Anybody see her? Does anybody see her? Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Okay, she back. I was like, where you went? Where you was going?
Whew, I felt like I was going through this matrix.
That's what you felt like you was doing? You was over there like this?
I'm all mumbo jumbo. Well, I was trying to go back to the page. Right? They're so childish. So I was trying to go back to the page so that I can share it. So maybe I'll do it later. I would like to do it now.
No, I see you on. I see you on. So I think, yeah.
Maybe I just didn't share.
Yeah, I see you on. So yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay. All right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember, share, like, all of that stuff, and follow. We are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube simultaneously. So if you will go over and check it out, I think you'll be good to go. And yeah, and follow up. So y'all know what we do in the mornings. Y'all know how we do this Thought to Ponder. This morning, even though we're talking about entanglement, we're going to take us a couple of breaths and acknowledge that your breath is important so we can untangle this entanglement, okay? Just for a moment. Take a moment and get it together and make sure that we good. It looks like my cousin is frozen over there. Looks like she is over there trying to get it together. But while she's trying to get it together, I'm going to go ahead and move forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, we like to take a breath in the mornings and acknowledge that our breath is important. So what I would like for you to do is come along with me and take these breaths. Now, the first breath, I'm going to count it out, and it's at a 5 pace. And what we're going to do is count out that breath and show you how it goes. I'm going to move my hands and do all of this good stuff and make sure that we are good. And I just want you to take a moment and acknowledge that your breath is important. It is very important that we acknowledge that our breath is important and that we're good to go with that. Especially during these times, there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. And so I just want you to take a moment and acknowledge that your breath is important. Okay. On the count of 3, we're going to take a deep breath. I want you to come along with me. I'm going to count it out on this first breath. Are y'all ready? I think I heard you say that you were ready. Now, if you are ready, then come on, let's get it. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Blow it out. Blow it out, blow it out, blow it out. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, y'all ready? All right, here we go with the second breath. On the second breath, I'm going to count in. On the count of 3, we're going to take it, but this time I'm not going to count. I'll do the hand movements, but I'm not going to count, right? On the count of 3, y'all with me? 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. And blow it out. And blow it out. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you should feel a little warm and fuzzy. You should feel a little tingling. You shouldn't be choking or spitting up or doing none of that kind of stuff. We had to let the breath go. Boom, 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 boom.
That looks like a dance.
Oh, hold on, because you know we about to get it. You know it's a Monday.
Oh, it's going down. I already got something that y'all don't know me.
Okay. All right.
Okay, let's get our breaths going. Come on.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on that third breath. And on this breath, ladies and gentlemen, what we like to do is when we take this breath in, we acknowledge whatever the issue, the problem, the concern is. When we blow it out, we make some noise. That's what we do. We make some noise. Now, again, Shanita and I are not responsible if you're in the library or you're at work and you start yelling and they tap you on the shoulder and give you a box. That's not our responsibility.
Come on up out of here.
That's not our responsibility.
We got enough going on in the world today. Come on up out of here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all are ready, we're going to take the last breath. On a count of 3, we're going to take that deep breath. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Make that issue, problem, or concern know it, that you're not going to deal with it no more, right? All right, on the count of 3, we're going to take it in. Deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. And
I ain't gonna get out of breath.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you done went from your Biggie to your Total Recall.
Yeah, did you see it? You see it?
Do you remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger went out into the atmosphere and he started, eyes start bulging? Now, if I would have saw your eyes bulging, I was gonna dial 911.
Okay, yeah. You was gonna dial 911 and send them on over. Send them on over. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is a Monday morning, and you know that once we take our breath and we get ourselves centered, we like to make sure that we are still alive and that we're still going and that we're still doing. So what I want you to do is come along with me and groove with me. Y'all know we like to groove. So I think I heard you say that you were ready. Are you ready, cousin?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready? Are you ready? Are you throwing it off today or what? Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Do I need to come back with a different type of, hold on. They got me messed up. Today one of them days.
Today one of them days. T 2 P check a side T
hey
2
come on
P
hey
check a side T
a side chick
2
is that what you were saying? Because you say check a side. You say what? Check a side chick, huh? Check a side.
I'm entangled. E N T A G L E mint. Good morning.
Y'all you gotta do better than that. Did you just
look? I don't know if you saw it, but I had to kind of like close my eyes and spell it because I had got lost for a second. E N.
And see, now you don't went on your Boosie. You know how Boosie said INDEPE.
Okay. Look.
You've been doing a little bit too much this morning.
Okay, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're here this morning. We're making sure that we're about share, like, do all of that good stuff. And you know what? And come in and say good morning to us this morning. Come in and talk to us. A couple of y'all have already spoke with us this morning. Good morning and things like that. Hey, good morning, cousin. I see you. This is my other cousin over here. Oh, Gladys.
Hey, Gladys.
Cousin. That's
hey,
cousin.
girl.
Yes, indeed. She said she loved it. Exactly. Cousin, you know how we groove when we get together. You know how we do.
I need me a drink because I be wanting to have like church and I be wanting to just be like.
Now, you know, I don't mind. I don't mind going to a little gospel and turning around and then.
Y'all got a little Baptist in us.
Yeah, we don't mind. We don't mind taking it that route. Taking it to the gospel and turn around and dropping it like it's warm. We don't mind.
We're going to be in the water.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I say that out loud? I don't think we should be.
Look, we're already dealing with enough this morning.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So our topic this morning is entanglement.
Entanglement.
Let me tell y'all what. This is what I want you to know. This is what I want you to know. Good morning, Jada. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, y'all come on in and come talk to us this morning. So this morning, what I want to start off with, right? You know, here at Thought to Ponder on the Meeting in the Family Room on Mondays, we like to give you the facts, right? We like to make sure that you understand exactly what's going on. So, cousin, what I'm going to do is read the definition of entanglement. That way, none of us, and I do mean none of us, will have it misconstrued or confused on what it means. Okay, all right. Are you ready?
We're ready.
I'm going to put on my teacher voice. Can I do that?
I didn't. Yeah, put it on.
Entanglement, right? It's a noun. The action or fact of entangling or being entangled. Many dolphins die from entanglement in fishing nets. Entanglement. A complicated or compromising relationship or situation. Entanglement. Romantic entanglements. Let's give a couple of words. Entanglement means involvement, means complication, means mix up, means adventure, means undertaking, means affair, relationship, love affair, romance, fling, flirtation.
Entanglement.
Entanglement. Yes. That's how you do it in school. After you do the spelling bee, after you spell the word, you say entanglement. Yeah, there you go.
Can I buy a vowel?
Come on, buy a vowel.
I get it. And so I think she was right for using it in that context, depending on what her relationship was in that situation.
So here's my thing on that, and this is the reason why I kind of love Jada, and I kind of Jada sometimes, because when you come onto the Red Table Talk, Jada likes to bring it out of you. Oh, that's what it was. No, let's be serious. Let's be real. That part. But when she was talking with Will in this particular interview, she was very meticulous about what words she used and how she used them. She went all the way around. She said entanglement, but as Will called her to the carpet, and I don't believe that Will called her to the carpet in a manner in which it was disrespectful or anything. What he called her on was, you have people on this show this RTT, right, all the time, and you tell them to be real. What is an entanglement? Be real. You were in a relationship, and then she still at that point she was like, yeah, like that. So this is what I believe, and I don't know if any of you out there have watched it, right? And me and my cousin are gonna talk about it this morning. But look at Will's face. Look how Will looked like he had been crying, like he was emotional. I believe Will knew that there was something, but I don't believe he knew it ran that deep, because he said to her in no certain terms, I was through with you. I was done. Like, I was done. And
Right.
then you come over here. So he said, well, how about this? Since you got one, how about I go out and get one? And she was like, oh no, we didn't already been down that road like that. And he said, see, it don't feel right? It don't make you feel good. You know what I mean? So I think that he knew that there was something, but I don't think he knew it ran that deep until you watch the Aug and Jada interview, and then you realize, like, oh.
But
so cousin, go ahead.
Is it possible for her to not have those feelings as August did? You see, because you can look at it like she has her feelings and what she looks at in this whole situation. You're talking about Jada is about what? 40, what?
She's in her mid-40s or close to
Mid
50.
40s,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even late 40s. Because
Maybe.
I know Jada is not my age. She's
No,
on a
she may be a
different
little bit
world.
older than
I
you,
was in like middle school. So she may even be 50.
She may be. She may be.
Yes, I'm certain that she's, and so maybe even at that age that she kind of understood and knew, you
Mm-hmm.
know, um, that there probably could be no more than what it was. And see, I think that's what happens in the situation. Like if I'm trying to explain to you what my feelings were
Mm-hmm.
or what I looked at this situation as, it doesn't mean that just because we come together that we have the same motive.
Mm-hmm.
Because for him, he may be looking at the fact that he finally has a woman, somebody who's helping him, somebody who's, giving him love, and doing all of these things. And then she's probably looking and saying to herself, well, you know what? It's just like she said, her love came from helping others,
Mm-hmm.
trying to save someone. And so it may have been something to that nature, and she may not have felt the same way that the young man felt.
Well, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say she may not have felt 100% the way that Og felt, as they call him, Og felt, but she felt something because when Will asked her, "What was it, Jada? What was it?" and she said, "I just wanted to be loved. I just wanted to be like in that moment. In that moment, she needed something, right? And Og was around." And Og presented to her because he looked to her, and I might even say this a little bit, and some might rub some people the wrong way. He looked to her like a maternal figure.
I was going to say that.
She was there. She was there. Now we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. Ian said exactly. I don't feel like she felt like that. True, right? And then Jada said 48. That Jada is 48. So I believe what happened, but the way that August talked in his interview and the way that Jada kind of skated around what it was, because Jada said, well, August he wouldn't return my calls. He wouldn't answer my calls. He wouldn't do any of that. I haven't talked to him since then. But what I believe what happened with August got into it thinking that it was something more than what it was, right? And then Jada went back to her husband. She went back to her husband. And so at that point, August cut it off because he was like, how dare you take me down this road? Because in his interview, he said she was the one, like the it, like she was it.
And maybe but you know what? That's what happens though when we deal in relationships from a painful perspective.
Shalita says Jada was looking for that I still got it type of thing. So, yes, indeed. Good morning,
Or
Shalita.
it
Good
could have
morning.
been what she said, like, okay, so he clearly said that she was looking for love. So
Yeah.
what is it that was taking place with you prior to that? Good morning.
Good
That
morning.
made you feel the need, that there was a need for you to make that type of.
Yeah. Well, I think in the moment, and this is going to be because I'm sure we've been in some entanglements, right? I'm sure we've been entangled in some stuff, and sometimes so I had a conversation yesterday with someone that I have been entangled with before.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna throw the whole cup away.
Okay, look. So they were telling me that we were entangled and that I was feeling some kind of way because they were not entangled with me the way I was with them. And I told them, I said, I think you have it all backwards. It's not until recently, and you know who I'm talking about, it's not until recently that you have been forthcoming with all of this information. When we first got entangled, you didn't tell me any of this, right? But I'm not that type of person to run behind you, show up at your job, checking your phone and doing all that kind of stuff, right? But
Right.
I do know that we had something. So what the person told me yesterday was, would you be okay with having an entanglement like a threesome? And I said, but so if we got together and there was no what's the word I'm looking for? There
So
was
it's
no
sort of like one of those I don't want to say a polygamous relationship
yeah,
because
yeah.
you're not married. So is it still considered polygamy?
So here's the thing. This person aspires to marriage, wants to be married, but want to have the cake and eat it too. And so I said, I don't have a problem with that. We were entangled because we were feeling a need for each other. I understood that.
Yeah.
But what you can't do is start showing up at my job. You know what I mean? Like if we entangled, you have to know the parameters. I'm telling you, you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're telling me that I gotta abide by these rules and these regulations, this terms of service, but you don't do that. So
Well, that's where it comes in and where you know what you want in a relationship. Because you have people that want certain things in a relationship, but you have to know what you want in a relationship as well. Because if that person says that I want this style relationship,
yeah,
don't get yourself involved in anything like that because
right,
you already know that that's not what you want.
right. That part.
So
That
yeah.
part. So
So you
I told the person, I said, well, here's the thing, and this is what I want people to truly understand is that it's not a point of I can tell you where August is coming from because it looks like there were mixed signals. It looks like Jada probably did not explain it or give a clear understanding that her and Will were not done or through because the way August talks, he talks as if they fell hard and fast. Like he was already on it, but he said something to the effect that it was never that before. But this is where the stuff gets kind of watered down. And I'm gonna go back to the conversation I had yesterday. It gets watered down because he says they were down like 4 flat tires, like they wasn't going nowhere. Jada said it was a long time ago that this happened, but he was on the Red Table Talk just in 2018. So it's kind of like, but then you go back and you look at the Red Table Talk. Yes, I did a little investigation. Go back and look at that interview. They are looking at each other like they know something. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that wasn't right. So this is what I said to my friend on yesterday. I said, if you come in and you give me your expectations of what it is, I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to be where I need to be and do what I need to do. Because they asked me, was it a point of you wanting to be around me or together more than we were? And I said, yeah, because it was good. But I was totally platonic in what it was. We came in, we did a service for one another, and then we went our separate ways. It was only when this third party, right? So I can put it this way: Jada, Aug, and then this third party, Will comes in, right? And then Will shuts it down. But you never told Will that y'all were not together, right? And I'm speaking of myself, but I'm using their names, right? You never told Will. So then all of a sudden now I'm getting calls. Now I'm getting all kind of threats and all this kind of stuff like that. And then our maintenance is over. But this person still believes, right, that I didn't abide by the rules when it wasn't me. You had somebody over here that you were in a relationship with that you wanted to have threesomes and all this stuff with, and they were not down for it. So when this person goes off like Og did with the media and told the whole story that was supposed to be so secretive, now you're in a position to say, oh, well, we had an entanglement. No, because what we had was clear understanding of what we were doing. Your third party did not have a clear understanding. So
this is my whole thought process when it comes to relationships and what I've learned throughout the years.
mm-hmm.
There has to be a moment of healing for you as an individual before you involve yourself in anything.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is, because the thing about it is that we come through this lifetime with so many different traumas that shape and mold our perspective. We come through this thing with hurts, pains, from subconscious, unconscious to the conscious. And the conscious part is okay. But when you don't realize that there are issues that you're dealing with, and you get yourself involved in a relationship and you're not whole, I don't care if it's just, I don't even care if it's a business relationship. Because when we think of relationship, we always think of the intimate sexual side of a relationship, to say that, well, I'm with this person, we're platonic, we're sexual, we're we're gonna have a family, we're gonna do all these things together. We look at that side of a relationship. But any relationship, you need to come in whole for yourself.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I grew up in a household with all women, so I know, I've seen the cheating, I've seen the on both sides, where maybe that where we all have done it, somebody else has done it, and you don't realize that it's all based off of your emotions.
Right.
It could be a sexual emotion, or it could just be a painful emotion that says that, or that this is what I need because I'm lacking something over here. You get what I'm saying? It's like people that eat ice. They eat ice because there's a deficiency there. There's an iron deficiency there that says that, I need this certain thing. People that eat dirt, they say, you know what, my body is craving this certain thing in order for me to be complete. And your body feels as if it's breaking down sometimes when you don't get it. I was an ice eater, so I know. And there were moments where I did not have ice, and I was riding to different stores trying to find the best chunks of ice that I could have if you're an ice eater. And it's like
I've been in the vehicle with you.
Right. And so when you're not whole, okay, and you feel as though there is something that is missing, just like how you run around trying to find the perfect ice or the perfect crack.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Because at this point, it becomes an addiction.
Well,
so now that could be the situation with him, because that we use that word love. We said, like August Alsina, like he was in love with this woman, right? But people love crack.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And so what is it that allowed you to gravitate to this thing like you did, where it became an addiction for you? Because you did not feel the same way. Now it has become an addiction for you. You crave it, you want it, you need it. So what is it that was missing in your life? What is it that you had gone through prior to? Because it didn't start when he started dealing with her. No. This was an issue that he had prior to her. That triggered that type of response.
She said that,
So what is it that you were dealing with prior to that made you gravitate to this thing and hold on to it the way that you did?
Well, you know what? I think sometimes it goes with, like, we think we are whole. We think we're together. We think we have it all. And then we run into this thing, right? Thing. We run into this thing, and then it's like our world is flipped upside down. Like, oh, like you were saying, oh, I didn't know I had a deficiency. I just thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought I was eating ice because I just eat ice, but I didn't know I had a deficiency. And so I think on both sides, on Jada's side, she didn't know at the time that she had that type of deficiency because of what her and Will was going through. August didn't know he had that type of deficiency because I guarantee you, he probably was already looking at her like this before, because she was more of a mother figure. Right. He's been around them for a while. And like she said something about they were trying to get him help, and he was broken, and he was this and he was that. But this is what I don't like. I don't like when you say that he was broken, he was this, he was that, and he latched on. Obviously, y'all had something more than just a little fling, because Jada said, right, that they were in this for a minute, but when she got ready to come back and they started back with Will, it all ended. And he ended it with her. He didn't talk to her at all. But see, here's the thing though. Why is it that this is coming out now? Right? What's going on? I'm not victim shaming by any means or anything like that, but I'm just saying, what's the real reason why? Because for August to finally just open up and just say what it is, he could have been denying it like he'd been denying it.
Maybe that's a part of his healing.
Yeah.
Because you have people that, you hold stuff in, your pressure will bust a pipe.
Yeah.
Maybe that is a part, because he said it for himself, like that changed him.
Yeah.
I think, and I've said this before, like, your natural light will never shine. Like, I can turn off all the lights in this room and it's dark out. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? But
you can still see me.
I can turn off all the lights in the dark room, right?
Right.
And it could be the smallest little keyhole of light that you can see in that room because it's dark.
Yeah.
And so it goes the opposite way. I can have all the lights on and you'll never know that that hole is there.
Right.
So sometimes we have to get to a dark place in order for us to see the natural light that God has placed inside of us. So from that, he may even have developed a sense of appreciation for his own life. It may have changed his life as a whole because he went through that dark space.
Right.
Where he was able to see that, there is some light in me. Let me get rid of this thing so that my natural light can shine.
Exactly. Do you think
God, and this is me coming from a spiritual perspective, right? Because as a person who's gone through so many trials and tribulations, I told you myself that, and I've been very open about things that have happened to me throughout my lifetime. Don't always want this to be the topic of discussion, molestation, but growing up and seeing my father was an abusive man to my mother, seeing how men treated women, there was domestic violence on different sides. I grew up in a household with an uncle who was a womanizer. But we know it is what it is. Yeah, it's a womanizer. Grow up being molested by males, and so then you get into your first relationships, there's domestic violence and abuse and things like that. You go throughout your relationships and this is what you experience. And not once did I ever feel that I had a hatred for something.
Right.
Hatred for it, and didn't even know that that's what it was, because I could say all day I would give all my love, looking for something, and then when it doesn't give you that same thing back, there's that trigger that says they just ain't shit, and so that hatred that you have that comes and says, well, everybody is like this, so you got to get to a point of your own healing. And so that's what I believe that his situation was, is that he never, maybe at this point, he realizes then that there is something that's wrong here for me to grab this situation the way that I did. So he's going through his own healing process.
Yeah. Well, then he actually said that. Do you think, and this is the question, okay, ladies and gentlemen, y'all chime in, let us know what y'all are thinking. Here's the question. Right. And I'm going to ask this to my co-host, but I'm asking it to all of you who are listening and watching. Right. Do you think he owed her? Do you think he owed Jada and I'm saying this in this way for a reason. Do you think he owed her some type of warning, some type of conversation, some type of something before he went on a national interview, right? And spoke about their relationship? Because what Jada said was he would not call, he wouldn't answer, he wouldn't do that. So the question is, ladies and gentlemen, regardless of how you feel, left, right, indifferent, do you think he owed her for the relationship they had, right, to at least tell her or talk to her prior to him doing this? Do you think he owed that? And go ahead, cousin.
No.
Y'all chime in the comments and let us know. But go ahead, cousin. Go ahead.
No. I don't feel like he owed her that because his healing process is for himself.
Right.
And I think that that's what happens when we go through our healing process. We're so worried about what the other person on the other end is going to feel or think to the point to where we cannot even get our proper healing. Because we're still stuck in that headspace of saying, what if this person feels like this? What if this? The damage was already done. Right. So now we're at a point now to where we have to fix the situation. August is trying to fix himself. Will has to fix himself. Jada has to fix herself. Right. At the end of the day, regardless of the situation, she was still married to Will Smith. That was still her husband. Now, they could have done things the right way and separated themselves, you know, on paper or however they want to go through the judicial system, you know, and seek litigation, however you want to do it in that instance. But that's not what happened. And so August was fully aware that even though this may feel like something that I need for myself, what he did was like a horse. You put the blinders on the horse so that they won't look to the left or to the right and get spooked. And so what he did was he put the shutters on and the blinders on for himself so he can just hone in on what he wanted at the time, not knowing that this woman had a situation to the left and one to the right. And so that's the issue with that. So when it all boils down to it, we always have to go back to us and what the situation looked like prior to what happened. So no, I don't feel like he owed her that. I feel like if he's going through his healing process, that is for him. And however it comes out, it's however it comes out. So now she has to take the initiative to try to do what she needs to do to fix her family.
Okay, so but do you think that even with that being said, and I agree with you that we should all be on our own, you know, healing process. But even with that being said, it seems like there is something missing between the two of them. Like there's something that's not being said. There's something that's not being brought to the light that only the two of them know. So what I'm saying is you can heal yourself from your trauma or go on that road, but until you know exactly what's going on, until you are able to come to terms with that trauma, then it's always that thing of I don't know. Because so this is me. I don't know their situation, but if I was an entanglement, I would have to be clear and precise on what that was and been done. Me and you, okay, say for instance, we're cousins and we had a mutual friend that we know was doing whatever have you. And me and you stopped talking with each other because of this mutual friend, because we knew that this person was cheating on their spouse or whatever have you. And then I was saying, I think you need to go and talk to your spouse and let your spouse know, like, this is where I was at, this is how I was feeling and all of that, right? This is just hypothetical. But on the other side, Shanita was like, no, Titan, she don't need to tell her that. Like, I'm sure you could tell him anything. Like, they need to just figure it out. But then nasty divorce, all of this stuff go on. So you kind of think about, like, yes, I'm on my journey, right? You know, but over here, I don't even know what actually truly happened. I don't know if I really was feeling this. I just missed it. I didn't do. So I think that I don't know that he owed her anything in that aspect, but I do believe they should have had some type of conversation, some type of resolution, even if it wasn't a resolution, because it seems like they just left everything off like right there. And now it's ugly in the media because there was something that's not there, right?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and the last part to that is that I really believe that they sugarcoated it to be less than what it was, according to the way that Will was looking. Like Will even said himself, he's going to have to deal with it now and go through it and all that kind of stuff. He didn't give his blessing. He didn't do all of that. But the truth of the matter was he was done with Jada at the time, right?
Yes.
Had to work their way back, right? But if you look at Will in that interview, he didn't know that it was what it was. And he would have never known, quote unquote, right? If August would have never opened his mouth and said something. And I think that's the thing, because Jada was looking like, okay, it's an entanglement. It's You know, like this is
because maybe that's what it is for her. And I think that that's the part that's unfair that everybody's looking at. So you
right.
got Will on the other side that says, oh no, it looks like this. Because for some people, their way of nurturing, okay, so let's say like for instance, who can I compare it to? Okay, that's like my husband and myself. My husband is a giver to the third power
Mm-hmm.
with no thought process to it. He's a giver. That's his thing. I'm
Shout
a
out to
giver,
husband.
right? I'm a giver, right?
Right.
But I have thought
Yeah.
sometimes to my giving, not all the
Mm-hmm.
time, but
Yeah.
sometimes where I like to analyze things and say, how much do I have? Let me do this. My
Right.
husband is not that person. So a
Right.
person would look at me and think, well, they would look at him and they would probably think, man, he's the better person, or because he just gives with no thought process.
Yeah.
But because I have a thought process to the world, it doesn't look like I'm that big of a giver.
Right. Right.
You get what I'm saying? And so we have to be careful with that, because what I may feel is the biggest giving for me. You know what I mean? I could have analyzed all of my bills and I could have had $100 left. And a person asked me for $300 and I gave that $100. That $100 was huge for me. But from the outside looking in, it's like she didn't give enough. I asked her for this and this is what she gave.
Right. Right.
But to the outside world, for him, he may have not analyzed anything, gave
Right.
that 200 and like God is going to give it back. His faith may be different than mine. So there are so many different factors that play a role in how we look at relationships to anything and what the outside world looks at. Women have a tendency, okay? Most women, if a woman typically is two things that happen.
What happened with your volume?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you sound like you're on a tape recorder or something. What happened?
Okay, I don't know. Am I still chopping up?
Yeah, but go ahead. I can still hear you, just like you're higher, like your decibels are like up there.
So I think that at a certain age, I won't even say that, because I've seen women that have, and I think this is with people. I don't want to just say that this is a woman thing or a male thing or whatever. We won't bring sexuality, spirit, none of that. Let's talk about this situation at hand. He's across that table. He knows what his love looks like for his wife. She knows what that love looks like for her husband. That love looked familiar when she was giving it away. It doesn't mean that her feelings were the same. It just means that this is how I coexist in a relationship. Yeah. I apologize that I gave so much to this person. Do you get what I'm saying? But this is how I function in a relationship. Right. And so his trigger was, you did this like this to this person like you did with me. Right. You gave this person the love that you give to me. You went out and bought this person something, and you that's my love. Right. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that that's how she loved him. Right. True. This is just what I know. Right. When I'm dealing in a relationship. Yeah. It's to give.
Yeah. I think that their relationship, as they stated, is more of a partnership. In a sense, because as Will said, I didn't like you for a good while, and that's why we broke up. That's why we separated. But I really believe that you spoke on something, because when you have set your expectations, when you know what it is that you're actually doing, right, and you have come to terms with the fact, just like I was telling you about maintenance, right? I knew that I had maintenance. I knew that every 3,000 miles I needed my tires rotated and my oil changed. I knew that. Absolutely. So I got into this entanglement knowing that's what that was. But the crazy part was they got into the entanglement hell bent on it being just what it was, and then failed. And then they started showing up at my job, and then they started doing this and doing that. And I was like, hey. I was like, we're not in a relationship. Like, this is not what we're doing. What we're doing is we're making sure that the car stay running. You know what I'm saying? You know, tire rotation, oil change. That's what we're making sure that we're doing. But then they got to saying, well, why you don't want to be around me? Or why you don't want to? That's not what we agreed upon. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it was sort of that same situation to be like, okay, look, it was good while it lasted. This is what we wanted to do, but I'm going back over here. Like I like this is not like this is kind of like crazy because I'm telling you, I looked out of my window in my office on the 9th floor, and that car was in that. And somebody said, "Okay, well, how do you know it's their car?" I know the car. I've been in a car 1,100,000 times, and for them to be outside and then to call me and be like, "Hey, what you doing? How's it going? You know, da 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 da. You know, what you doing when you go to lunch?" And I said, "Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, well, I'm outside." I already knew you were outside. I could see that you were outside, but this is something that you were not supposed to be doing, right? And then on the flip side, you wasn't supposed to have a baby mama. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mama. And then your baby mama was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and was, you know, following you and doing all this kind of stuff. And two things that I always say to people when I tell them, it's okay for you to be grown and be consensual, right? To get in a entanglement. But one thing that you don't do if I'm getting an entanglement is mess with my livelihood and disrespect me, right? We can do whatever we want. We consenting adults. But if you are married, uh-uh. If you got a relationship, uh-uh. If you're in a situationship, uh-uh. If you're entangled with somebody else, then I don't understand why we feel that it's okay for us to be in an entanglement. It's found out that you're in an entanglement, right? And then you want to deny that the entanglement was what it was, right? And I think
Right.
for me, watching Jada talk to Will, she was trying to sugarcoat or cushion the entanglement. And Will was like, no, let's not do that. Let's not do that, right? And then for August to have, and I just want to say this, for August to say that Will gave him permission or gave him the right to go, huh?
His blessing.
Yeah, blessing. But Will was like, no, I didn't do that, bro. I didn't do that. Will was, and to be honest, looking at the video, it looked like, again, Will did not know how deep it ran. And I wonder, had they talked before they got to the table? Because Will looked like he was really, really, his eyes were red, like he had been crying, like, and then he even told her, he was like, I mean, there's nobody other than you. I don't get it. So I think sometimes I hear what you're saying, and I said it, but I
Yeah.
think we need to set expectations because even on a hookup, it could go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Even on a little fling, it could go wrong. Or somebody can find out that you're doing something in the dark, as you stated, right? In the dark. And then when the lights are turned on, you're like, but it's crazy when it hits close to home though.
When people start getting crazy or feeling like they're in love or feeling like it's so much more than what it is, that's emotions.
Yeah.
And I think that people fail to realize that in a relationship, especially when you're dealing with a marriage, that you cannot marriage is beyond your emotions.
Right, right.
So we don't realize that because we come into it in love.
Right.
You know, we feel this person makes me feel good. This person is doing everything that I like in a person.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But what we fail to realize is that everybody has layers.
Mm-hmm. True.
Okay. So we're emotionally caught up in this person because of whatever that person is that compensates for what is missing. So we don't get to see everything. But when the layers begin to fall off and you say, damn, I ain't know this person's ear. One ear was bigger than the other one. It's like the smallest thing. Then
Right.
the signs are there.
Right. Sure
Again,
enough.
we're looking towards the emotion.
Right.
Then you say, I have all these things going for myself. This person ain't got nothing. Then you say, oh my God, I noticed that this person's is not as clean as I thought they were. Do you get what I'm saying? That's
Right.
why when you're dealing in a marriage or a relationship, your love will never be enough. Never.
Right. Right.
Love
So
is never enough. Your love is tied to that. If your love is tied to that emotion of that thing that says, this makes me feel good.
right.
Because in a marriage, you better have some financial stability. Okay. You want love. Okay. How does this person treat you? Do you know, how do you treat this person? Can you deal with the fact that this man doesn't put the toilet seat down? You get what I'm saying? Because then he says that I didn't like you. So
Right.
what was it about that person that made you feel that I
Right.
didn't like you? And if he didn't like her, was he being abusive towards
Right.
her? We look at abuse from a physical perspective,
Right.
or
Right.
sometimes what a person says to you. So
Right.
what was it that took place where she felt the need to look outside of her relationship for something? When you can clearly hear her husband say, I didn't like you. I was done with your ass. I didn't want you.
Right. Right.
We keep missing that part.
Yeah. So obviously there was something going on there. But let me ask you this. So with that being said, and we talked about Aug, right? As they
Mhm.
call it. We talked about so let's talk about Jada. Do you think Jada was wrong for messing with somebody 20 years his senior?
No,
Do you think that she should have, because this is kind of split. They're saying, well, August shouldn't be spilling the beans. He shouldn't be talking, under that. He had Jada Pinkett. He should, what I'm saying? That's the bro code. He shouldn't have done that. But on the other side, right, they are now looking at her being in her 40s and messing with somebody that was 22. So
the
do you think she
issue,
was wrong?
I believe that she was wrong for dealing with him, period.
Right.
I can't look at I want to say the age factor.
Yeah.
He could have been 50. You get what I'm saying? And so
Right.
people are always going to, at the end of the day, he's an adult. She
Yeah.
just shouldn't have went there, period, at
Right.
the end of the day.
Right.
We try to put like stipulations on what it should have been like. There's
Right.
no right way to fucking cheat.
Right.
Excuse my French. I'm sorry. There's no right way to
Just like
cheat.
you feeling this morning. That's
Yeah, you want to say, oh, well, you need to be this age.
right.
The person needs to at least he could have been a person with a job and a car,
Right.
or at least this person could have had something going for themselves. Or oh, look at this. Then you try to size up each individual, and then some people will say, you know what, good. If he was 40 years old, her age, if he was like, okay, well, at least he's her age, it shouldn't have happened.
Right.
So there's a lot that needs to be fixed in that whole situation. Will, pay attention to your wife, because I'm going to tell you something. She didn't just go out and cheat like that. There
Mm-hmm.
were things that were taking place in that relationship that
Right.
forced it.
Right.
That's number one, where he clearly said, I didn't like you, I didn't want you. And she said, I just wanted to be loved.
Right.
August, and then she's looking for somebody that's broken so she can fix him and help him.
Yeah.
So what are you denying your wife over here where she feels the need to come over here and try to fix somebody else's situation?
Right.
Because a person can come to you and they can tell you, I'm broken. My
Yeah.
husband left me. My wife has left me. And and you feel like I can help this person because over here, my wife, she ain't giving me that.
Right.
My husband, he not giving me that. But this person makes me feel wanted.
Yeah. Because that person actually needs, right. And so I think you just spoke volumes on that. But I do believe that it goes both ways, because the interview with Jada and Will, they both said that they did some things that caused the marriage not to be what it was. They went in thinking that it was this way, and then they found out, like you said, those blinders. Then they took them blinders off, and they found out it was all this stuff over here. But I think what's crazy is that they were analyzing the video and how Jada was basically talking about it like it was something other than what it was. And you could tell how Will was emotional about it and things like that. But when you watch the August Alsina interview, you could see how emotional he was as well.
He was an emotional wreck.
Yeah, he was really trying not to like hurt her, but he wanted to tell his truth. Like you could tell he still loved her. And you could tell even in Jada's facial expressions, when Will asked her, she was like real talk. It's kind of like you're not supposed to look. I'm gonna use this analogy, but it's not real analogy. It's kind of like you're on a diet and you're not supposed to be cheating 5 days out of the week.
Right.
and then your trainer catch you, and your trainer like, okay, you didn't gain weight, you ain't lost no weight, and you be like, right. No, I'm doing what you say do. I'm drinking more water, but you had that turkey leg. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like that. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, that we here's the question for us on here, and I'll let Shanita answer as well. What do you think is a deterrent? No, wait. How to put this? What do you think, if anything, could have been done differently in this whole situation? From it being announced or broadcasted, to the truth being told, to them sitting down. And do you think that because they're celebrities, that plays a part? Okay, so hold that thought for a second. Shalita says people love to share their good news and feelings. Yes, people love to tell everything that's going on that's good, right? You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to tell what's bad. Nobody wants you to know like what's really going on. And I do believe that sometimes when you're a celebrity, I'm not saying that this is the end all be all, you are on Front Street.
Yeah, so absolutely.
That you can actually do that's going to be secretive. All right, cousin, go.
Okay, so my thought when it comes to what could have happened differently in that situation, you know, I'm a foundational person. So I'll always go back to the foundation of things. I believe that, again, and I'll say this a million times, before you get into a relationship with anybody, you need to go through your own healing process. Before you marry somebody, go through your healing process, okay? In a marriage, I think that we don't look at our mental health the same way that we do with our physical health.
Right.
We'll go every 6 months to get our teeth checked. We'll go annually to get our heart checked and our bodies checked. You know, but how often is it that we just say, you know what, I'm just gonna go do some routine maintenance for my health, for my mental health.
Right.
So go get yourself some counseling and, you know, work on your relationship the same way that you do with your mental and your physical. Go get you some therapy, some counseling, you know, with your significant other. Don't wait until there's a problem that occurs and then say, well, we need to go and check on this. Sometimes by that time it's too late. So give yourself that opportunity to go and seek the help that you need. Just like you said with the car, you have to have routine maintenance. It's the same thing with the marriage in a relationship. Number 3, 4, whatever, listen to your spouse. Because I'm going to tell you something about most women. Most women are not silent. A woman will tell you what she is dealing with consistently. And she will even tell, she may show you first, like giving you little signs. Baby, okay, here's a magazine. I want to go travel. You know, here's just a little magazine. You don't say anything. Then she'll come back and say, well, baby, so-and-so them, they went to the Bahamas the last time. You know, I thought that was a nice place. You still don't hear it. Then she comes and say, baby, I would like to go to the Bahamas too. I want to go and take a trip too. You still don't hear it. And so when it comes down to a relationship, listen to your mate. The same thing with your husband and your wife, because sometimes we just keep we will constantly think that the woman is the person that needs that attention, but men clearly need the same love and attention that a woman needs. There's no difference in that. So if there is something that and talk to your spouse and let them know that they are in a safe place where they can talk to you about things.
Right.
So talk to your spouse. Let your spouse know what you're feeling. Do those things that and go back and do the things that you did before that got you with the person. You can't stop doing those things. To the Will Smith situation, keep people out of your relationship. Yeah, I get that in her mindset, she was trying to help this person, but you're married.
Right.
There's a line that needs to be drawn in the sand that says that I can't have this type of relationship with you because I am married. And I think that Will is so real. It's like, oh, well, but he doesn't realize that real thing that you possess that says, well, you know what? It doesn't mean that the other person's intentions are the same as yours. So you have to guard yourself from people, because I'm gonna tell you something, and this is and I know August probably didn't look at this, but when there was that separation that took place, there are people who are hurting in the world that don't care about your relationship. They will help you tear your shit down. They will help you tear it all the way down until you lose every single thing that you have.
Right.
It may not be their intentions, but they will help you. They will help you because it takes two people to have an affair.
Yes.
We'll say, fault your man, fault your woman. It takes two people to have an affair. You break them down, they'll help you lose everything that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So separate yourself. Don't get too close to people. You don't need to have this extra relationship with the male.
Right.
You don't need to have an extra relationship with the female. So that's what I feel that could have been different in that entire equation.
Indeed. Shalita says August felt abandoned by Jada after she and Will reconcile. Jada has deeper issues happening. She's looking for something that maybe Will wasn't providing. And you're right, Shalita. I do believe that that's the case in point, because she said that she just wanted to be loved. But I don't know what happened between her and Will, because Will was very and then somebody say, oh, Will was just being harsh and being mean. No, Will was being honest. He said that I was done with you. And I don't know what the dynamics were, but the way he spoke, it was something that had happened with Jada prior to that. He said he had to wash his hands of that. And then Jada confirmed. She said, yes, I was, yeah, that's what it was. Then they're not going to say what it was, but I do understand that, because I could see how August saw, or maybe he thought that he was helping her. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he thought he was giving her, what she needed, because he saw what Will wasn't giving her, or he saw that side of her hurting and being in pain, and he wanted to help her. Again, she helped him. He wanted to help her. But I think sometimes that we don't look at it like that. So I do agree with what you said, cousin. I do agree that we have to be open and honest, but we got to set some expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, when you go into a marriage, when you go into a situationship, a relationship, or whatever it may be, you need to be able to set some expectations. And what I mean by that is that I'm no guru when it comes to relationships or anything like that, but I am saying that you have to set expectations. Know what you're getting into, know who you're getting into it with. And then why are things happening now in the relationship that didn't happen in the beginning? We had this, oh yeah, cousin, when you get a chance, everybody, when you get a chance, go over to the normal anomaly and look at, it's a thing that we did on, what's today? Today is, I can't remember. I'll go into. Anyways, look, go over to the normal anomaly, and if you're on in, post for us the video of that. So what we did was we did a episode of from the normal anomaly about Black queer love, right? And it doesn't necessarily take away from anything by me saying Black queer love, but it's love, period. And we had 3 couples on. and they talked about what it was. One couple in particular that I actually, the Havards, that I actually interviewed, said that they started therapy when they started their relationship.
That's awesome.
So it was like they knew what they were looking at. They knew what they were getting into. They didn't want, because they had been and done that, right? Been there, done that, bought that T-shirt. So they didn't want to go and do it again, because what they said to each other was that you were going to be my life partner. Like, this is who I'm going to be with. This is who I'm going to marry. But we got to make sure we do it right. I've done it wrong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many other times, and it didn't work. And so they literally, and I want to give a shout out to Naya and Mo. Hey. I appreciate y'all. But they were so truthful in them going to therapy or doing therapy before they embarked on what it was.
Absolutely.
But they embarked. So
absolutely.
Last thing to that, Will said something to that. He said, we thought we knew it all. We thought we had it together. And then we found out that we really didn't like that, you know? So we had to go back to the drawing board. And that's what happened after the breakup. Now we're stronger now. We're much better now. And there was a time that me and you could not have sat here like this and talked about this, right? And so I think that shows a lot. But ladies and gentlemen, know your partner. As my cousin said, talk to your husband, talk to your wife, talk to whoever your partner is. Y'all sit down and know what's what. Because once it comes to the light, as my cousin said earlier, it's going to be too late for you to rationalize, right? And you to think, right? And be in your right mind and think, what can I do? How can I solve this? Because I guarantee you somebody's going to be on 10. And it's going to be...
there was a young lady that went through a very painful experience in her relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, that was fairly close. Yeah. And the young lady ended up leaving the guy that she had dated for many, many years, and she gravitated towards this new guy. When she gravitated towards this new guy and talking to her, she was like, oh my gosh, he does this. It was like everything that the first guy didn't do,
right?
This new guy did.
Right.
Everything. It was like, oh my God, he praises me. The other guy didn't like the way I sang, but this guy, he did,
right.
Tell me how he loved to hear my voice to sing to him. This new guy, like when I'm getting the groceries out of the car, it's like the smallest little thing. This new guy, he would do all those things or whatever.
Right.
And I asked her the question, like, were these signs that you saw in the first guy before? She goes, yeah. So I asked her the other question, babe, I can't take this dog right now. This dog. So, Tim, come get this dog. This man drives me nuts. So, she's going to doggy daycare. So anyway, so the lady goes, she says, she's like, okay, so I asked her, I said, well, did you see any of these signs, whatever, with the first guy? And she was like, yeah, he came and he was kind, he was loving, he did all these things. Okay, cool. Then I say, but did you see the other signs in the other guy where he, where he wasn't? She was like, yeah, you can see it in the beginning. I said, so this is what I'm going to tell you. When a person shows you who they are, you have to believe them. Okay? So now I want you to look at this new guy. I want you to pay close attention to him. Not that attention that you paid to the first guy. Okay? Because the first guy, you didn't pay that close attention. You saw signs, but you didn't pay attention. Okay? So now you go back and look at this new guy and you pay very close attention. And then you come back and you tell me what you see. So she comes back and she was like, man, I noticed that he like takes a breathalyzer before he gets in his car. So, and I'm like, okay, but this is that perfect guy, right?
Right.
Then she goes, yeah, like his baby's mom had mentioned, like, was going off on him and said something about him being abusive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then his friends you know, certain things that his friend, I say, pay very close attention, because those are the attributes that you want to pay attention to.
Exactly.
Because those are usually the deal breakers. So
Right.
same thing, you know, in a relationship. When you see stuff, know that it's real. Just like you said, that couple Mo and who?
Mo and Naya.
They took the initiative to go and check on themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Baby, Naya said on their first date, or they did a personality test. And I said, yes.
I'm telling you. Hey,
That's what you gotta do sometimes. Like you, but if you're
this little game right here is something. Get this game.
yeah. But if you are really about it, if you are true to it, if you are really trying to understand what it is, Shalita said it best right here. She said, respect of the marriage. You have to be in any type of situationship, relationship, any of those ships that you're in. You got to be able to set some expectations and to be able to talk it out. Because once you're in it, it's too late for you to try to rectify what you should have rectified. Like you said, did you see those signs, those red flags? Were they coming up before?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were. So you got to be able to know what's what. So look, ladies and gentlemen, we can't tell Jada, we can't tell August how to think, how to do, how to be. We can only talk about what we know and what's going on with that. What I do wish for the both of them is healing on this situation, on that, because it looks like it's taken a lot out of both of them, right? And we are all human. Shanita just said it. I've said it. We're all human. We fall. We fall. Sometimes we got to dust ourselves off and get back up and try it again. But if you really want to do it the right way, be like the Havards. Be like the Havards and go to therapy in the beginning. Do a personality test on the first date. You know what I'm saying? Shut it all down.
Hey, are you the one, man? Nobody wants to keep doing this thing over and over again. Man, I remember when I first got married, and I would tell people like, yeah, my husband and I, we've been together for X, Y, and Z years. And I was just like excited about, this is the longest relationship I've ever been in.
Right.
And then people would say, oh, girl, you just scratching the surface. I'm like, we've been together for 10 years. Okay. You know, yeah, that's a long time. Like, you know, and then the 15-year mark got hit, and people are still saying you just scratching the surface. And I'm like, we've been through so much in our relationship, you know. It's like, hell, I don't want to go through nothing else. So then let's try to fix whatever.
I don't want it no more. I don't want it no more.
You know, let's look, it's time for some new problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to keep repeating the same problems and the same over and over again. So you go, you know, let's look for some new problems. Like, so if our credit ain't straight, that's our new problem. Let's fix that one. If, you know, we want a new house because we've outgrown this one, or it's too much space now, you know, because it's just the two of us and we got all this house. So that's our new problem. Let's go fix that. You know, so yeah, don't stay fixated on the same old problems. Okay. Shit, ain't nobody got time for that.
Everybody got time for that. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Look, go like, share, subscribe, follow, do all of that good stuff. Share. It's the Thought to Ponder. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays here. I'm broadcasting. You know, drop some down in the inbox, in the comments, and let us know what you're thinking and let us know what's going on. Right. So to end all, be all, ladies and gentlemen, be true to yourself, be true to your relationship, be true to what's going on. And so just so you know, we here at the Thought to Ponder on the Meet in the Family Room on Mondays, we don't believe there was any other reason you were put on this earth other than to be blessed and to be a blessing. But you know what, cousin? I think I heard them say they wanted a groove on the way out. Did I hear? I heard sit it ta 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 ta. Hey. Sit it ta 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 ta. T2P. Check us out. T2P. Check us out. T2P. Check us out. See y'all next time. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.